It seems like Cathie Wood was right again about the direction of the markets, but before I tell you more about this, in case you hear some background noises right now, this has to do with the fact that I'm right now on sort of a workation, so working but on vacation in Italy, so I hope you don't mind. But anyways, this video is about the fact that technology stocks are increasingly looking good again, and Cathie Wood, she predicts that her portfolio could triple from these numbers for these levels right now in the next coming years. She's a long investor, but basically after this sharp sell-off in technology stocks, we now see the first recoveries, and namely so, and I'm glad about this, in NIO. So already in my last video I spoke about this long-term uptrend here, which NIO fought back in. But during this week we also have to say that it break down this support once again and was trading below. But yesterday had this huge green candle and is now kind of poised to trade above this level and close above this level during this week. And this is quite important. And although this is of course just some short-term trading here, and the technicals are not everything, but for once it shows us that NIO is one of the few growth stocks that already found back into this longer growth pattern here, and that has to do with the fundamentals of the company being intact, but more so that there is still a really good appetite from investors and that they see a longer opportunity here with NIO stock. If I compare this with other stocks, for instance Tesla here, you can see that it has not found its way back into this overall uptrend channel here. It's trading a little bit below here, so I do think actually frankly Tesla might be an opportunity here to catch up a little bit in the next couple of days and weeks should we see this trend manifested. But also if we look at the ETF level, like pooling different kind of stocks here for the ARK funds for instance, it seems like it has kind of bottomed out at around $130 for the funds here. So the overall trend or learning here would be that it seems like most of the technology stocks have either found their bottom on the very low side here, or like NIO stock have actually even found back into this overall growth scenario already. And the reason on one hand side might be that the rotation from technology stocks to value stocks may come to an end. So because the investors have seen this short-term opportunity as a reopening play, but are now also once again looking more into this long-term growth opportunities that tech stocks are presenting here. And on the other hand, we have the macroeconomics where the Fed is continuously signaling that they think that inflation is going to be transitory, and that they also announced that they're not looking to raise the rates. So until 2023 it seems like we don't get a big hike in the interest rates, and I currently don't see the inflation as a big issue that they need to taper immediately. So now it kind of feels increasingly safe to start deploying capital into new opportunities, because it seems like the bigger downtrends have been stopped so far. But for me that doesn't really mean that I'm now jumping on lots of different new opportunities. For 2021 I actually have the plan to focus my positions in those where I'm most convicted, so rather do deep dives in, for instance, NIO of course, Xinlei, XNet, in SEP Health, into Baidu and so on, where I think I have a deep knowledge of the companies, or increasingly a good knowledge of those companies and opportunities, rather than jumping on every new trend that is around there. So in that sense this also means having opportunity cost in some sense, and also missed opportunities. For instance, one company that I've totally missed is Uxin, and I kind of regret that because I had it on my watch list, and just a couple of weeks ago this company was trading just around $1 and was running up more than 400%, and now had a big sell-off actually after a big announcement that also NIO Capital was part of one round investing millions of dollars into this company. And Uxin is basically creating a secondary car market, so they are the leading nationwide online used car dealer in China. And frankly this is a super interesting opportunity there, because most of the Chinese have just bought like their first or their second car, and so this used car market is definitely something which is now the right time to look at, because in a couple of years this market will be super big. And so creating an online platform around second-hand cars makes a lot of sense. And well, the CEO of NIO, Li Bin, he previously founded a company called Bitauto, which later on was taken private in a merger also with Tencent, I believe. And well, so he knows this market perfectly, right? So he has been running this company Bitauto, which was giving pricing information for used cars online as a website. So it's very interesting for him definitely to have a focus also in this area. And I personally was in a belief that NIO will possibly also break into this market by themselves, because currently what you can already do in the NIO app is that there is a second-hand car market where you can buy those cars that are verified by NIO. So once again, playing around with this issue of trust and the security and the user experience and safety, which is very important, not only in China, because of course if you sell and buy a car, there's lots of money involved, but especially so in the target group of NIO vehicles. And then it just makes sense to have this integrated in this NIO Life ecosystem. And it's always interesting to look where NIO Capital is investing in terms of, for instance, autonomy technology, other companies in the area of EV technology and so on, but certainly also opportunities like this for second-hand cars. Now, although I really regret that I kind of missed out on this run up and didn't invest because I just didn't look deep enough in this company, although it was on my watch list, I'm not sure if I want to jump in on this opportunity right now. Also, given the sell-off, maybe there is still some sell-off due before it really bottoms out. And on top of that, it already has increased in valuation so far. And here's the issue with such kind of investment opportunities. Yes, there will be definitely lots of growth in the area of second-hand cars, but it also seems like a very narrow growth opportunity here. And well, it may have a similar run, for instance, like some of those vertical opportunities like Tiger or Futu, which I also invested in. But currently, I really like to invest more in companies which I think have kind of different kind of revenue opportunities. So I think the biggest one here is NIO, frankly, which is having this large ecosystem, which is not only about cars. And for instance, also for companies like Baidu or Xunlei or SEP, I see similar opportunities in different areas and such. These are really long-term growth opportunities that don't really depend on only just one piece of the market here. So for now, even though Uxin is just a 1 billion company by market capitalization, it's possibly an investment that I will pass on. I'll possibly keep it on a watch list, and if it goes lower, I may consider of buying a dip here. But in general, I think for now, this is in terms of the opportunity cost, not a position that I would like to open for now. So sorry, Li Bin, this time not following the leader. I do think it's a cool opportunity there, but it just doesn't fit my personal investment thesis here. So one of those bigger growth opportunities that I see is Baidu, and the chart unfortunately doesn't look so well. So currently we didn't hold this upward trend line here. Maybe it may have to bounce off the 176-ish US dollars again before it can continue onwards. It's kind of strange to see that the stock is not moving as much lately, maybe followed by, well, ARK Invest selling off a big chunk of their Baidu investment, and also the sell-off of Baidu with this big plunge followed by the Bill Huang story possibly was not good for the overall trend in Baidu shares. But they're recently also making progress. For instance, here just yesterday they launched the ArcFox collaboration for Baidu Apollo, and the ArcFox is a car by Bike, so a Chinese state-owned group that is producing the car, which has kind of a solid, advanced, you see here the LiDAR autonomy technology, and basically it's one of the cars which they're gonna use to demonstrate that they have good autonomy technology that Baidu will be used in order to kind of build out a back-end and infrastructure in China, also incorporating 5G and V2X technology. And I will be making a separate video about this opportunity and also speaking more about the autonomy approach that Baidu is taking. But in general, the bottom line here for me is that, well, on the fundamentals, it seems like Baidu is making much progress in many of those different opportunities there. yet they either fail to market it to investors and also to maybe their customers right now. But I still think that we will see the outcomes on the bottom line, on the financials of this company. And now again, in a comparison with this quite low valuation that Baidu is having, and also at the same time this bigger growth outlook in all of those different aspects where Baidu is active and can dive into and commercialize in the next coming 5 to 10 years, I think this is really a great opportunity that I am personally taking. So this is not financial advice or a recommendation to buy or hold Baidu. But personally, I think this is kind of a no-brainer and an easy target other than investing in too many of those different opportunities out there. And so in summary, it seems like, we have a bottom here, some sort of consolidation in most of the stocks, and some of them already have actually found a way back into their growth trajectory. And I think now, for me personally, it's time to rather look into a few selected stocks to understand them well and to have an allocation that is bigger than just having too many things in too many different baskets. And so from here, I will be mostly focusing on these company names and definitely let you know how I am adding to those positions and also how I understand the companies and where I see the biggest potential. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and then see you in the next one.